Good morning, happy Thursday. Welcome to From the Nosebleeds. I'm Joey Gunnar, joined today by Will Peterson. Will, how you feeling today?
I am great, Joey. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, feeling real good after that Nuggets win last night. Two big Eastern Conference teams the Nuggets have knocked out without Nikola Jokic. And I'm starting to realize that maybe Jokic is, no, actually, I'm gonna stop that conversation. I was going to say maybe he's not as valuable as we think and just kind of, joking about that, but that's not true. The Nuggets have found ways to compete in strange settings without their best player, without a bunch of their starters. David Adelman has found ways to win. Even up against the Cavs last week, they put up a really good fight. And they found new leaders on this team. And one of those leaders has been Payton Watson. And he's been a topic of conversation in a lot of ways this season, largely earlier in the season because of the fact that the Nuggets extended Christian Braun and gave him a 5-year, $125 million contract and chose not to do that with Payton Watson. Now they might be regretting that a little bit. Am I speaking too early, or is Payton Watson really showing something that the Nuggets might want to keep around?
Yeah, I mean, Watson's been very good this year. There's no doubt about it. But the reality is the GMs, the new GMs, Ben Tenzer and Jonathan Wallace, had to make a decision on what they had seen. And what they had seen was Christian Braun was the better player. I mean, Christian Braun, as a rookie, was part of a championship run while Payton Watson wasn't getting minutes. Christian Braun was a key rotation guy as Payton Watson was still coming out of UCLA, and we were wondering, what do we have here? We saw it in stretches, but Christian Braun started once Kentavious Caldwell-Pope left town too. So I get what you're saying, and I understand a lot of fans are saying it as well, but it does feel like a lot of revisionist history to me. Christian Braun had been the much better NBA player, much more consistent NBA player heading into this season than Payton Watson had. Now, it's always good when one of your guys who didn't get paid uses it as fuel to step up. The problem is he's almost assuredly gone this summer, because then we'll start dealing with aprons and all that. And here's how I look at it, Joey. Let's just hope that he's at the parade and everyone can sort of wish him well and say, bye, thanks for everything. Because when did that happen? Oh, just a couple of years ago with Bruce Brown. We all remember Michael Malone going, Brucey B ain't going anywhere. And we're looking at each other like, yeah, he is. He's going to go get his $20 million. He's gone. But it's so much easier to swallow that pill as a fan when the guy is leaving a champion. So I understand it's a valid conversation. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it just feels like people have tunnel vision and are not remembering that 4 months ago, if you had polled Nuggets fans, 95% of them would have said Christian Braun's a better player and that the front office paid the right guy.
I don't want to say I'd be in that 5%, but I'd be quite close. Okay. I mean, when you're looking at ceilings between two players, the ceiling is much higher, it looks like, for Payton Watson. I mean, had we seen that ceiling, not consistently, we had just seen it in spurts. Yeah. We finally are seeing it in a night in, night out basis. Now he's getting his opportunity. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a scapegoat, blame Michael Malone for not playing Payton Watson more. And so we didn't realize he had this in his game. Is that fair? I guess people are just looking to blame the front office on this one. And I just think they were in a rock and a hard place. That's fair. That's 100% fair. And I mean, that's what we're having this conversation. We got to find where it's happening, what the issue is. And yeah, Christian Braun looked like he had all this potential, but I feel like we might have seen Christian Braun's ceiling. Don't you think? Like, we know what he is. We know what he's likely going to be. He's a great role player that can run in transition, keep the pace high in the game, play solid defense on a lot of two guards around the league. You can't play, defense on every single player. He's not a 1-through-5 defender, but he can, hold his own up against a 3 or a 2. He's a solid player that can work well with Nikola Jokic. Payton Watson, on the other hand, the opposite. I mean, he is a great defender 1-through-5 and can create shots on his own. We're seeing his growth in real time. And it's going to sting, seeing him gone. But I think that you're entirely right. There's a 90% chance that he's wearing a different colored uniform next season. It sucks. But, that's something that we have to, accept going into the end of the season, the second half of this season, that some of these players are going to find other places. And as long as it is just Payton Watson and not my man Spencer Jones too, then I can get along with it. I can feel good about that. But the next point I wanted to bring up is during this road stretch for the Nuggets, they have really found ways to win. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier with different leaders. How important is that for the growth of this team? Seeing people like Peyton Watson again and Zeke Naji and Spencer Jones become leaders to this backup unit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last couple of wins have been so encouraging because, I tweeted it last night. It's not sustainable over 82 games, right? This is a case of some of their biggest star is out, and then other stars, for example, in Philly, were obviously out. They did get some reinforcements last night in Boston, but this is a case of when you get an opportunity, you've got to seize it. And these guys are NBA players for a reason, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're seizing the moment. Now, it's not sustainable, again, over 82 games because you can't play this hard for 82 games and still have anything left in the tank. But when hey, we're going to be without Yoke, the best player in the world for the next 3-4 weeks, we've got to give it everything and make sure we don't go 4-14 and fall into the play-in the 16, 17, 18 games he misses. Then that's what they're doing. And to me, that's so encouraging because it means that this is a united group and has other leaders as well. To your point, they didn't just roll over and die and feel sorry for themselves that Nikola Jokic got hurt and said, well, no one expects us to win now, so we'll just trot out there, lose by 20, get on our plane and go home. They did it once in Philly, which was impressive. To do it again in Boston last night, I mean, I was wowed watching that game, Joey, particularly in the fourth quarter when they pulled away from a fairly healthy Celtics team. I know Jason Tatum's obviously not there, but the Celtics look like one of the better teams in the East. And in that fourth quarter, Denver was just the better basketball team. I know it got a little hairy in the final moments, but they still held on for a 4-point win. And again, doing it once was cool. Doing it twice was like, wow, we got something here.
Yeah, and we highlighted, I mean, it's just incredible what they did yesterday. The last 2 games have been nothing but insane to watch. Peyton Watson, 30 points on 10 for 15 from the field, 6 for 7 from 3, 6 rebounds. Just an incredible game from him. Jamal Murray, though, all-star. We know this. He should be. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 17 assists. That's his second game this season with over 16 assists. He's on a tear this season. I don't know how much more we can campaign for him to be an all-star. He's got to be, right? Like we can only guess right now, but he's got to be an all-star.
Yeah, no, it's time for Jamal to be an all-star for sure. And it's funny you bring that up because I wrote about this yesterday at denversports.com. He had comments to Mark J. Spears, who's been an NBA writer for 30 plus years, had a long stint here in Denver, now on the national stage. And Jamal told him 3 things. He said, I want to be an all-star, a scoring champ, and an MVP. And that first one, it's like, well, Jamal, you're going to have that in a month. You can check that box. Scoring champ, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. MVP, as long as Jokic is here, that's probably never going to happen. Some people had an issue with the comments, which I just found flat out silly. It's like, guys, this is just an athlete shooting for the stars in a comfortable interview setting. It wasn't a shot at Yoke. He's not sitting here saying, I want to score all the points, or I want to be the guy, or I want to be the MVP. It was just Jamal dreaming big in what's ultimately going to be the best season of his career, knock on wood, if he can stay healthy the rest of this way. So I loved him dreaming big. And yeah, in my eyes, if he's not an all-star this year, we love to talk about snubs. That would be one of the biggest snubs going if he finally can't get on that stage at 28 years old.
Yeah, I read that article. I loved what he said there. And it was weird how people took that. Like it was really strange that people were seeing somebody just, say, of course, the most wild things. And I want to be an MVP. I want to be a finals MVP. I'm like, likely that's not going to happen for somebody like Jamal, but it's great to dream like that. I love that a lot, but we should move on because where there's good and 2-game road wins, we got to talk about the bad and 2 road game losses for the Avalanche. They've had a little bit of a road skid here recently, matching their season loss total up to that point, losing the past 2 games, beating Carolina and then losing to the Panthers. And of course, in that game, losing Gabe Landeskog, and then following that up with a loss to Tampa. Some late issues here happening for the Avs, but nothing I think too big. Can you calm us a little bit here, Will?
Yeah. Teams lose 2 in a row in the NHL. It happens in an 82-game season, especially when, like you said, they had lost 2 all year in regulation, and now they double their loss total. And two things. One, first of all, I just throw the Panthers result out the window because, like you said, when Landeskog got hurt, I mean, I know the Broncos were playing, so a lot of people didn't have that game on, but the win was totally taken out of their sails. It was like when Jokic got hurt in Miami and the Nuggets got blown out. You see your leader, your captain, one of your best players go off the ice in obvious and tremendous pain. You don't have any interest in playing hockey the rest of the night. And they still only lost 2-1, but it just looked lifeless, and I don't blame him, right? I mean, that guy's been through so much. And yes, it looks like it's upper body, and we're all thankful for that. But his knee also buckled. And you have to know the players knew his knee buckled, and their minds went to the worst. He had done so much rehab, been out 3 years. No one wanted to see that toe pick. So we're really happy that he ultimately looks like he has an upper body, not a lower body, but I don't blame him. And then in Tampa, honestly, man, you're at the end of a long road trip. You're playing one of the hottest teams in the NHL. I believe the Lightning have won 8 in a row. Could be a cup final preview. And it's 2-2 midway through the third period. You played them even through 50 minutes. They got up 3-2, scored an empty netter. So it's not like we're coming off, a 7-1 loss or anything like that. One, the injuries are starting to catch up to him because Landeskog and Taves is now hurt and Blackwood's now hurt. So they weren't going to stay healthy this whole season. And two, we all want them to win 78 games. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're still going to win 65-70, but you do the math on that. Okay, that means they're going to lose 12-17 in regulation. Guess what? We just saw 2 of those 12-17. They're coming up on their longest homestand of the year, starting tonight against Ottawa. They're going to go something like 6-1 on this homestand, and everything's going to be back to normal.
Yeah, no, you alleviated my fears. No, but it's not like it feels bigger than it is. And that's a good thing, honestly. Those 2 losses feeling as big as they do is a great thing. Like the fact that we've only seen that many losses once before this season, like it's pretty crazy. And that Tampa game, I feel like there was maybe some lingering effects of that injury to Gabe because it just looked like they looked tired. They didn't really show any passion, especially in that third quarter until the whistle blew. Like it felt like the most passion in that game was shown after the game was over when they got into a huge scrum. That was fun. That was the most fun part of that game to watch for me, at least. But yeah, so 2 losses, not that bad. There is some good news that came out yesterday. The Avs will be at the Winter Classic next season up against Utah. That's pretty fun. I mean, what was the last time? I can't remember. What was it, 2016 that the Avs were in the Winter Classic?
Yeah, so you know what's interesting about this, Joey, is they've actually never been in the Winter Classic. And it's kind of a unique wrinkle because the NHL has different outdoor venues or whatever, that games that they call them. So they've played in the Stadium Series twice, once at Coors Field and once at the Air Force Academy.
Yes, okay.
And then they played in that kind of funky Lake Tahoe event a couple years ago during COVID where they put a hockey rink on a golf course and they tried to play a day game and the rink kind of melted and they're like, oh, we got to bring everyone back in 7 hours while this thing freezes back up. So it's not like they've been ignored for outdoor games because they have had 3 of them, but they've never got to play in the official Winter Classic, which is only once a year. It's always right around New Year's Day. And we did get the announcement yesterday. It's going to be in Utah at the Utah Utes football stadium. So cool, massive venue right on the mountains, playing the Mammoth. Obviously, Mammoth are getting awarded for, saving that franchise, if you will. I know there's a lot of Arizona fans that are still hurt about it, and I get it. Anytime a franchise gets ripped from one city to another, it's tough for fans to swallow. But clearly, the NHL has liked what they've done in Utah because to reward them with a marquee event like this in only year 3 was pretty interesting. I'm glad the Avs are in it, but I do got to say, man, you've never been in a Winter Classic. You've won 3 Stanley Cups. This is year 17, 18 of the Winter Classic, and you're having the Avs go on the road. I would have loved to see this football game or this baseball.
You almost got it.
Game, I'm getting all my sports mixed up. This hockey game played at Folsom Field. That would have been cooler to me. It's great it's out in Utah, but what a prettier setting than hockey on the Flatirons at Folsom. I'm officially putting that on the NHL's radar for hopefully a future side of a Winter Classic.
Yeah, no, that would be a sight to see. I mean, talk about exciting. I don't care how much the tickets would cost. I'm going to Folsom to see the Avs kill whoever it is in home turf. Will, thank you so much for joining. Always so much fun to have you. Everybody else, thank you for watching. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.